Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. While my channel is basically doing airsoft, camping, military security, police gear, such, and that's what I've been growing it as. I do have other hobbies. Back in the day, I was big on G.I. Joe as a kid. I also liked Transformers. I do collect it, but I primarily collect G.I. Joe. But I do have a little bit of Transformers and have some of my favorites. While they may not be complete, they're just fun to have. So I was perusing a store that I usually go into. It's a surplus store, and I was looking for some airsoft gear. And as for example, my last video, that was one of the items I bought there, which was the SciTac SIG holster. And when I checked out at the counter, I saw these models that were already built, and so I was like looking at them. I thought it was pretty cool. And I asked if they had any more behind the counter, and they brought out a box, and I went through them, and they had Soundwave. And Soundwave was one of my favorite Transformers from the Generation 1 series. My second favorite was Devastator with the Constructicons, but unfortunately they didn't have a Devastator, so I grabbed this one. And it's made by Fascinations Metal Earth. Pretty sure, ages 14 plus. It's a metal kit, doesn't require any glue, says just tweezers, but I did watch some other videos on it, and they had some suggestions of some other tools to use with it. So yeah, I figured I'd open this up and start building it. Just to show, I went online on Amazon, I looked around, and they did have a kit for the Metal Earth for building them. And it consisted of needle nose pliers, some snips, and like a smaller pair of pliers, just flat ones. I went to my local Home Hardware, and that kit was $24 on Amazon Canadian. I went to Home Hardware and I got this 5-pack of all different tools for 21 bucks, and this cost me an extra 8 bucks because it wasn't in the set. But it included basically what I needed, which was these 3 items. They say you need tweezers, so there's a pair of tweezers right here, and then some items just for helping with rounding parts and stuff if you need to, depending on what kit you have. But I have X-Acto blades, lots of electronics tools here, and other types of tools that I'm pretty sure that whatever issue I come across while building this, I'll have a tool or item in here to solve that issue. So there's Soundwave.
They must be terminated.
It's a pretty cool transformer. While he just was a tape cassette, I think for the transformation and just looks, he's one of the better ones. So he's one of my favorites. So let's open up this kit. All right. I want to do it cleanly, so I'm just going to pause the video here for a second and open it up because I just don't want to rip it open. I want to keep the packaging as well. Alright, so I just trimmed off a little bit off the top and then took X-Acto blade. That way I can keep my packaging. And let's pull what's out inside of here. Alright. So inside, you get these metal sheets. Which is really detailed. I'm actually really impressed with this. Looks good. And then you get instructions. I wonder what this is here. Is this like a different language? What's going on? Oh, the second sheet. So a lot of instructions with this. So this is going to take some time. I've heard that some of these model kits take up to like 2 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on this. I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit and I'm just gonna start building it. All right, so here we go, page 1. Got some tools here ready to go. Let's do this. All right, so I need part 1. Alright, so one leg done. Talk about quite a challenge. Not bad, only one mistake. Got a little squished up there, but now that I know what's going on with the pieces and stuff and how to bend them properly, you can see everything else turned out really nice. So now I'm going to move on to the next leg. Alright, so got the second leg done. Went together a lot more nicely. You can see I screwed up that one piece at the beginning. But now that I've got it all figured out, turned out nice. Alright, so let's carry on. So middle chest body part and the torso midsection. Let's see what the next step is. Alright, so here we have the legs, stand, mid-torso, mid-body, all constructed. Not too shabby. So I'm just going to continue on from there and see how things go. Alright, so that was a pain in the butt making that arm. Holy cow, a lot of intricate things you gotta do with it. My rifle's a little bit loose on it, but it's okay. I noticed that underneath the shoulder section, there's one tab that you cannot do up no matter what you do, so the arm was solid, so I didn't worry about it. Alright, so moving on to the next part. Alright, so getting close to the end here. Just started work on Laserbeak here. I noticed with the instructions that his back little engine pieces on the top were on backwards in the instructions compared to what he looks like in Generation 1. So I put him on the right way, and that became a pain in the butt to do. This guy's so little. And then the arm, for his left arm, turned out nice. This is the arm that Laserbeak's going to sit on. So I'm on the last page of instructions. We're getting there, almost done. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, so both arms on now. I just need to do his back. What a pain in the butt this guy was, but it was fun. The bird was the hardest part. I'll show him in a little bit once I get him completed. But yeah, just let me finish up his back and then we're done. Alright, so I got him completed. I would say time in about 4 hours to build them. I took a couple breaks there, had some snack breaks and stuff. And yeah, difficulty level, I would say probably more complicated maybe than some of the other ones. I'm not sure. I know there's one gentleman that does sort of rank them. I knew that he mentioned he's a little bit higher up there. So for a starter one, yeah, it was interesting. Laserbeak was a pain in the butt to build. So many small pieces, and then when you have to get them all together, there's so many pieces on them that can bend and just warp. Very hard to get him together. I noticed that underneath both arms on the left and right, there's one tab that just, I don't know how you put it in. So I just sat it, and because the arms were stiff enough and it all joined and was solid, I didn't worry about that. I had the one mistake on the one leg, and I did smush one of Laserbeak's legs, but fortunately on the tree or the sprue, there was an extra leg, so that was cool. And also on the sprue, I noticed that there's an extra rewind forward button, so if you did screw up one of those. But overall, not bad. It was fun. Would I do Soundwave again? No. But I'd be interested in doing some of the other ones. There was a Boba Fett that I was looking at for the head sculpt one. I thought was pretty cool. My favorite character from Star Wars, so thought I might get that one. And then there was an Apache helicopter as well. I think it's the AH-64 or whatever. It's an Apache helicopter. I thought it looked pretty cool. And so yeah, new hobby for me. I had some fun doing that. When it comes to the scale-wise of the figure, the Metal Earth figure versus the real one, I would say that this figure is just under half the size of the real one that came out for Generation 1. So pretty cool. And so yeah, if you have any comments, leave them down in the comments below. Please subscribe. Have a great day, have a great week, and take care. For the end here, I'm just going to get some close-ups and try and spin it around so you guys can see all the detail that is in this figure. And yeah, take care.
As you command. Computer error. No communicators will be made useless.